My family made me sleep in the garage during the holiday season to make room for my cousin. You should be thankful we're letting you stay at all, my mom snapped. I left that night without saying a word. Now my inbox is overflowing with frantic messages. I, a 28-year-old man, am writing this from a surprisingly decent motel room about 100 miles away from my family's house. It's the morning after the holiday, and my phone has been buzzing incessantly for hours. I finally put it on silent. The drive here was fueled by adrenaline and a clarity I've never felt before. Usually visiting my parents, Dad, 60, Mom, 58, and my sister, Emma, 30, for the holidays is a mix of duty, mild anxiety, and pretending I don't notice the subtle and not-so-subtle ways I'm treated differently. This year they dropped all pretense. Some quick backstory: I'm the younger child. Emma is the golden one, married to a decent guy, my brother-in-law, 32, and they live closer to home. I work in construction management. Good money, stable job, but not glamorous. I live about 6 hours away. Then there's my cousin, Nathan, 26, my mom's sister's kid. He works in some finance job, wears fancy clothes, and is endlessly adored by my parents whenever he visits. I'm the reliable one. They call me when the furnace breaks in the fall, when Dad needs help fixing the porch steps, or when Mom needs her car towed to the shop. Guess who paid for a car repair last time? I'm the fixer, the helper, the guy who shows up. Nathan, though, is the guest of honor. I drove down yesterday, arrived around 4 p.m. The usual chaos was in full swing. Emma and her husband were already there, Mom bustling around stressed about dinner, Dad glued to the TV. I brought gifts, helped unload groceries, and started doing the expected things, like troubleshooting why the Wi-Fi was patchy in the living room. About an hour after I arrived, Mom pulled me into the kitchen, half closing the door. "Guess what? Exciting news," she stage-whispered, eyes gleaming. Nathan and his new girlfriend, Sophia, decided to drive down last minute. They just called. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, I said, okay. Where are they staying? The house isn't big. Parents' room, Emma and her husband in the main guest room, my old bedroom, and I usually take the smaller second guest room, Emma's old room, which is barely bigger than a closet. Mom waved a dismissive hand. Well, obviously Emma has your old room, and the other guest room isn't really big enough for 2 people. Plus, Sophia wants her space, so we figured you could take the garage. We put a cot out there. I stared at her. The garage? Mom, it's winter, it's freezing out there. Oh, don't be so dramatic, James, she said, her voice taking on that familiar edge. We found Dad's old space heater, the one with the slightly worn cord. It'll be fine, an adventure. An adventure, I repeated flatly. The garage smells like gasoline and Dad's lawn supplies. There's no insulation. And Nathan gets the room I usually stay in. Well, yes, she said, as if it were obvious. Nathan's a guest. He brought Sophia. We need to make a good impression. Your family, you understand. I drove 6 hours, I said, keeping my voice steady. I spent last weekend helping Dad clean the gutters in the rain. I paid for your trip to see Aunt Linda last fall when you said money was tight. And I get the garage so Nathan and Sophia can have space. Her face tightened. The fake excitement vanished, replaced by that hard, resentful look I knew too well. You should be thankful we're letting you stay at all, honestly, she sneered, her voice low and sharp. Always making things difficult, always finding something to complain about. It's just one night in the garage. Stop being selfish. That word, selfish. After years of being the dependable one, the one who rearranges his schedule, lends money, fixes things, sleeping in a cold garage while the favored cousin gets the actual bedroom makes me selfish. Something inside me clicked quietly, like flipping a switch. The usual mix of hurt and anger was there, but beneath it was a calm certainty. This was it. No more arguments, no more trying to make them see. They saw exactly what they wanted to see, me as an inconvenience, a resource to be used and housed wherever was easiest for them. Okay, Mom, I said softly. She blinked, probably expecting a fight. I just nodded. Understood. I walked out of the kitchen and played nice for the next few hours. Nathan and Sophia arrived around 7 p.m., all smiles and designer coats. They were immediately ushered into the living room, offered drinks, fawned over. Nathan barely acknowledged me beyond a quick, "Hey, man." Sophia gave me a look like she was trying to figure out which handyman I was. Mom directed me to carry their bags, not to the garage, of course, but to the small guest room. Emma shot me a sympathetic glance but quickly looked away when Mom glared at her. Dinner was awkward. I stayed quiet while everyone else chatted loudly. After dinner, I excused myself and went to check out the garage. There was the cot wedged between Dad's workbench and stacks of old tires, a single bare bulb overhead. The ancient space heater sat there, looking like a fire hazard waiting to happen. The air was damp and freezing. I could see my breath. I went back inside, helped clear the table, and sat through another hour of forced holiday cheer, watching Nathan show off pictures of his recent vacation on his phone. Around 11 p.m., people started heading to bed. "Night, James, stay warm out there," Mom called out with fake brightness as she went upstairs. I waited, listening until the house was quiet, except for Dad's snoring echoing through the floorboards. Then calmly, methodically, I went to my car, grabbed my duffel bag, went back inside, gathered my toiletries from the bathroom, put on my coat, walked out the back door, and locked it quietly behind me. I didn't look back. I got in my car and drove away. No note, no text, nothing, just silence. The first hour was pure relief. The second hour brought a bit of sadness. The third hour, my phone, sitting dark on the passenger seat, lit up. Then again. And again. It's now 9 a.m. the next morning. I got this motel room around 6 a.m. and slept for a couple of hours. My phone is practically buzzing itself off the bedside table. A quick glance shows. Mom, 7 missed calls, 15 texts. James, where are you? We're opening presents. Are you seriously sulking in the garage? Come inside. James, answer your phone. This isn't funny. Did you leave without saying anything? Answer me right now, young man. Nathan needs help setting up the speaker he brought. It's complicated. Where are you? Your father is very disappointed in your behavior. Is this about the garage? You're being incredibly childish. You've ruined the holiday. Sophia asked where you were. This is embarrassing. I swear, James, if you don't call me back in 5 minutes, followed by several all-caps demands. Emma, 3 missed calls, 5 texts. James, everything okay? Mom's losing it. Did you actually leave? Seriously, what happened? Mom wants you back here now, says you need to apologize to Nathan. Apologize for what? Just call them, please. It's making things super awkward. Dad, 2 missed calls. Son, call your mother. Let's sort this out. Aunt Linda, Mom's sister, Nathan's mom, 1 missed call. James, your mother is very upset. Heard you left. Hope everything's all right. Nathan mentioned you seemed unhappy last night. Give your mom a call. They don't get it. They genuinely don't understand why sleeping in a freezing garage while the favored cousin gets a warm bed might be the final straw. They see my departure not as a consequence of their disrespect, but as my failure, my selfishness, my problem ruining their holiday. The panic in those messages isn't about my well-being. It's about the disruption to their plans, the inconvenience, about who's going to fix the next thing that breaks or help Dad or listen to Mom complain, or just generally be the family's shock absorber and handyman. I feel free, maybe a little sad, but mostly just calm. I ordered room service breakfast and plan to find a movie marathon on TV. My phone is staying on silent. They made their priorities clear, and now they get to live with the consequences. Update, a few days later. It's a few days after the holiday. I still haven't responded to anyone. The flood of messages slowed down after the first day but hasn't stopped. The tone has shifted slightly, less panic, more guilt-tripping and confusion. Mom sent a long, rambling text about how hurt she is. How could you do this to me? Family is supposed to stick together. Didn't I always do everything for you? She mentioned how Sophia thought the garage situation was kind of funny, like camping. I bet she did from her warm room. She also mentioned Dad's back went out, and he needed help moving an old appliance out of the basement. A job I was supposed to do over the break. Guess that's not happening. Emma texted, asking if I was okay, but then pivoted to how much stress this was putting on Mom and Dad, and how I should just be the bigger person and call. Typical, enabling their behavior by asking me to absorb it. Aunt Linda called again. I didn't answer. Her voicemail was syrupy sweet. James, dear, just checking in. Your mother is beside herself. We're all worried. Nathan and Sophia left yesterday. They felt awkward. Maybe you overreacted just a tad. Holidays can be stressful. Give your mom a call. Smooth things over. Overreacted. Right. Dad left a voicemail sounding tired. James, look, the garage thing wasn't right. Your mother, well, she gets ideas, but walking out like that caused a scene. Call us. We need to talk. It's probably the closest to an apology I'll ever get, but it still frames me as the one causing the scene, not their actions. The most telling thing? Not one message asked why I felt disrespected enough to leave. Not one acknowledged the years of being taken for granted. It's all about their feelings, their inconvenience, my overreaction. I spent the last couple of days decompressing and talked to my best friend, Tom. He wasn't surprised. Dude, they've been pulling stuff like this for years. Sleeping in the garage, that's next level. Good for you for finally bouncing. That validation helped. Yesterday, I got an email alert about a charge attempt on a shared utility account for the family home. One I co-signed years ago to help them qualify, though Dad's supposed to pay it. It's usually on auto pay from his account, but the payment failed, likely due to insufficient funds. Someone, probably Mom, tried to manually pay it using my bank info as the backup. My bank flagged it because it wasn't the primary payment source. I called the utility company immediately, explained I'm no longer associated with the property's billing, and removed my name and bank info as the cosigner backup. It took about 30 minutes. I let them know Dad, the primary account holder, is solely responsible. If he can't pay, that's on him. Blocking Aunt Linda's number felt good. I might block Emma's next if she keeps up the be the bigger person nonsense. The peace of silence is addictive. 2 months later. It's late February, 2 months of silence from my end. Life has been calm, work is busy. I went on a weekend trip with Tom and finally fixed a leaky faucet in my apartment that I'd been putting off. Attempts to contact me dwindled significantly after the first few weeks. After the utility payment issue, I heard through a cousin on Dad's side, someone more reasonable, that the power flickered off briefly before Dad scrambled to pay. They seem to have gotten the message that I'm not just sulking, I'm out. Emma sent one last text about a month ago. Mom cries a lot. Dad's stressed about money. Hope you're happy. I deleted it without replying. The manipulation is so transparent now. My cousin mentioned that Mom and Dad are telling the family I had some kind of breakdown, that I'm unstable, and they're worried sick, but giving me space. They omit the garage incident or frame it as a fun, rustic, sleeping arrangement I misunderstood. The victim narrative is strong. Nathan and Sophia apparently told Aunt Linda it was super weird how I just vanished. No self-awareness, any of them, the best part, the freedom. No more bracing for the next dismissive comment, the next unreasonable request disguised as a family emergency, the next time I have to swallow my pride to keep the peace. No more planning my holidays around their whims or budgeting for their next financial crisis. There was no big confrontation, no screaming match, just a quiet click, a locked door, and a silent drive away. My family set the terms with that garage cot. You are not valued here, only useful. I accepted it and acted accordingly by removing myself, the resource they took for granted. Their panic wasn't about me. It was about losing their convenient handyman, their backup plan, their emotional punching bag. They thought I should be grateful for the scraps they offered, even a freezing garage. They never imagined I'd just leave. I don't know if I'll ever have a real relationship with them again. Maybe years down the line if they genuinely understand and apologize, but I'm not holding my breath. For now, the silence is peaceful. Building my own life on my own terms feels right. They got the holiday they created, one without me, and I got my peace back. That's more than enough.